Today we're gonna make Venezuelan Arepas, delicious corn cakes made with pre-cooked white cornmeal. Harina Pan is the best brand for these. It's only 3 ingredients. You use some lukewarm water, a teaspoon or so of salt, and 2.5 cups of Harina Pan cornmeal. Let's begin. In a mixing bowl, we're gonna add lukewarm water and salt. And we're gonna dissolve that with a fork. You can use a little whisk if you like. Mix that well, you want all the salt to fully dissolve. Next, we're gonna mix in the harina, a third at a time. This is gonna help us eliminate some lumps. Once it gets thick, you can use your hand. Always when making arepas, you want to have a little bit of water standing by so you can dip your hands in, and that way it's easy to work the dough. So you're going to gently kind of grab it. I like to grab it and kind of give it a little squish. Make sure the water is fully absorbed to the flour. Just make this a nice pliable dough. You don't need to overwork it, and you really can't. You just want to thoroughly mix, make sure there's no lumps. It should be nice and smooth, that you can press your finger on it and you can gently push it, and it's not really breaking apart. All right, you want to cover this with a nice towel for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, we're gonna check on the dough. That's ready to go. And we're gonna scoop out into large golf ball size balls. You can make them bigger or smaller, but this is a good size. I like to pre-scoop them, so that way it's easy to roll. So you scoop a couple of these, and then you can start working the dough. As you work the dough, you can put a little bit of water in your hands. Ball it up like a little ball, and as you kind of roll it around, press it a little bit, press it down, other hand press it, and as you're doing this, I'm kind of turning my hands like this, almost like a little clap. You're smashing it gently without it breaking too much. You want to get to about 1/2 inch thick, like so. What I like to do to round out the edges, I roll it right on the cutting board or on the table. It's going to give it a nice little flat. Give it almost like a wheel. So you can make a couple of these, and then we're going to heat up. While you're making these, you want to heat up your pan. If you're going to use a griddle, you can use a griddle. You can use a frying pan, heat it up to medium-low, and have that warmed up. As soon as they're ready, we want to hit the pan right away. All right, so now we're going to cook the arepas. I'm using a griddle, but you can use at home a pan. You can put a little bit of frying oil, like canola, grapeseed oil. You can also brush it on with a little piece of paper towel, just to make sure you fully coat. There's several ways you can cook the arepas, but this is your standard way. On a pan like this, you're gonna lightly toast them, and we're gonna start putting them right there. So you're gonna cook this on medium-low for about 2 to 3 minutes on each side to the lightly brown. You wanna have a nice little crust, but you don't wanna get too much color on it. It's just to get nice and toasty on the outside. You can also brown them up and throw them in the oven for 10 minutes, and that way it gets nice and fluffy inside as well. So you want to listen to that sound, that little popping, that's the steam coming out of the arepas. That's a good sign. That means they're toasting and it's warming up inside. All right, we're ready to flip. Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly what you want. Slightly brown with a little bit of a crust. Perfect. Nice little brown coating. It's hard on the outside and the inside is going to be nice and soft. Almost pillowy. These guys are ready to go. You could plate them up right away. You can let them rest and then heat them up later in the oven. I would let them cool down a little bit before you slice them in the middle, because it's very hot inside. So you can stuff these, you can eat them on their own, you can stuff them with spread a little butter inside and cheese, which is one of my favorite ways. You just want to stick a knife in here and just cut right in the middle, open it up like a nice hot pocket, and you could put a little bit of butter in there. And some cheese. Arepas de Venezuela.